Jesus. But guess what? This is a beautiful example of what I'm explaining. The Bible says, but when he looked at the boisterous winds, but when he looked away from Jesus, but when he looked at the problem, but when he looked at the problem, he began to drown. He began to sink. What a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? Like his posture was great at first. He started out right, but then he took his eyes off of Jesus and began to sink. So why do we sink? Why do we cave in? Why do we drown? Why do we become hopeless? Why do we allow the things that are happening around us to steal our peace, to steal our joy, to rob us from our sleep? Is because we take our eyes on Jesus. I love this Psalms 112 verse 7. And it says, they do not fear bad news. They confidently trust the Lord to care for them. Oh, I love that. Are you fearless? How do you become fearless? By confidently trusting the Lord to care for them. Listen, what would it take for you to get to the point where you are fearless? Where your confidence in God is like so dope. Like you know that God is God no matter what. He is good and he is God even in the midst of the trouble, even in the midst of the death, even in the midst of bad news, even in the midst of tragedy. You trust God to take care of you. No matter what the news say, no matter what has happened to your loved ones, it's painful. Definitely feel all of that. Grieve, right? Feel what you feel and grieve what you need to grieve or who you need to grieve. But our perspective should not shift just because we experience tragedy. In fact, our hope in Jesus helps life make sense. Our perspective that we see that Jesus is our champion helps other things make sense because there's no way we can understand why things happen. We live in a fallen world. But what would it take for you to confidently trust the Lord to take care of you? What would it take to have 100% confidence that God will take care of me no matter what the news is saying, no matter what they're threatening another shutdown, no matter what the job is doing about all these other layoffs? Will I trust God? Do I fear bad news? Am I fearless? Do I believe God to be my Shema, always there, to be my Jireh, provider, to be my Roha, my Raha, my Rohi, shepherd? Do I believe God to be my Ezer, my help? Do I believe him? Do I believe him to be my Mauzai, my strength? Do I believe him? Do I believe him? A lot of people are struggling in their beliefs because at some point they took their eyes off of Jesus and they're focusing on something else. I pray that this thought, this quick, short episode really, really blesses you today. But I also pray that it